Hi, my name is Alan Gleeson, the CEO of Contento, and your host for this episode of SaaStock's partner interviews with Marco from Keylight. Marco, lovely to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
Let's kick off with a little bit of an introduction. Tell me about yourself and then tell me a little bit about Keylight.
Yeah, I'm Marco Sarich. I'm CEO and founder of Keylight. 10 years ago, we founded the company, and my background is actually mathematics.
Okay.
So I was in science for a long time, mostly working on complex systems, data, molecular applications, so something very different. But yeah, then I founded Keylight and went quite quickly in the subscription direction, and of course also getting in touch with SaaS companies.
So tell me a little bit more about Keylight. Like, what's the problem that you guys solve?
Yeah, basically everything from subscription management, billing, revenue recognition, also commerce. So for many companies, these are quite siloed departments, and we try to bring more an end-to-end structure to combine them, and also to professionalize, so to say, these things. So there are many companies that have still manual processes, right? They work with spreadsheets, and we try to get rid of this and automate as much as possible, so that you have scalable processes.
So it's part of actually the infrastructure of these SaaS companies. You're really working on sort of helping professionalize that, right?
It's a very central product, right? It really professionalizes the main core processes from the contract management, the billing, and also sales processes. Really get everything under one umbrella, so to say.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And tell me, 8 years in, what's the journey been like for you? Have you enjoyed it? Is there highs and lows?
Definitely. There are always highs and lows, but I enjoyed it a lot. It was a good decision to do that after the science experience, which was also very interesting. We're a bootstrapped company as well, so that's also fun. We started as professional service company. I think there was a talk today as well where it was about benefits of starting as an agency, learning about the products, problems basically of customers, and then we built our product. So we launched it 5 years ago. Yeah.
It is a great journey, and I think there's a lot of companies that have done that because as you say, you get really close to the customer, you really understand the challenges, and then part of it is productizing almost. So it's a fantastic kind of way to build, I guess. 8 years in, still being bootstrapped, that's phenomenal. Talk a little bit about headcount or growth, or give me some milestones that are relevant for our audience, I guess.
Yeah, we're roughly 50 people.
Oh, excellent.
A little bit more. We are in a typical growth stage, I would say, as a company. We're headquartered in Berlin, so most of the team is also in Berlin. But our strongest market is actually the US. So around 60% of our revenue is from there, and then Europe and also APAC. We have some customers in Southeast Asia and in Australia. So quite global as a company, which also makes it interesting. So we have an office in New York as well, in Belgrade and Zurich, and one in Singapore.
Pretty impressive again to do this on a bootstrapped, kind of way of doing it. It's not typical, right? Normally you'd have to raise Series B or Series C to be able to fund international expansion, but clearly cash generative, profitable business that's able to fund, I guess, overseas offices.
I mean, there are benefits and drawbacks, right? But you definitely learn how to do that, right? To be, to really think about where you invest and which direction you go. And it only works if you have this close customer relationships to be really excited about customers, very customer centric. You have to do that, right? You don't just build whatever you want and then afterwards find out that it won't. There's no market fit. So that's, I think, what you need to do when you're bootstrapped, that you really focus on working closely with your partners and customers. Yeah.
And what does that actually look like in real life, right? So again, take it back a couple of years. Does it mean giving them early access to development? Does it get them into the feature setup? What does it actually look like that customer centric?
Yeah, I mean, of course, help them with the first setup of the product, but then get a lot of feedback. So, of course, with our customers, we didn't scale massively. Maybe that's also important, not in the beginning, but we try to grow really organically and try to treat our customers well, right? Really have good discussions with them, see how they use the product, get feedback so that we can actually address also some concerns or some feedback of them. So if you get a lot of funding and you just go to market, right, and you get too many customers at once, you get too much feedback, you can't work on it anymore. So that's why for a long time, it took us a long time to really build out the product well with our customers, take their feedback in. And just now, in the last 2 years, we really start to scale the company.
again, Marco, I think that's a key point, right? It's almost the fact that you didn't take VC funding in, you weren't sort of subject to hard pressure on growth and numbers.
Yeah.
It worked well for your industry context because you could almost have slower growth because you were, bootstrapped, which means you're going at a slightly different pace, but probably then not subject to the pressures that you might get with a VC model.
Totally, it pays off on the product side, on the quality of the product as well. So we see this also with some competitors, for example, that they grew very fast, but then they also logged in, right? They see later, oh, we didn't think about that. We should have changed this data model a little bit. Our product should be different. They can't change it anymore because they have too many customers using it. And then you're locked in, you can't get out, right? And we try to avoid this by being a bit slower in the beginning, but now we're growing actually quite rapidly.
And talk us through the growth cycle in terms of, you've mentioned competition. Often your bootstrap, they may be VC backed, right?
Yeah, totally.
So it's a bit of an unfair fight, but how are you kind of winning some of those battles and gaining customers in undoubtedly a competitive space?
Yeah, also now with events like that, right, we try to get some more brand visibility. So for a long time it was more referral based because we're also working with larger customers, like really enterprises. And now we want to go also a little bit more towards mid-market, support some scale-ups, some smaller startups even. This is why now we try to get some visibility. And also working with some influencers, right? Referrals are very important. We built a good partner network.
Okay.
And that was always very important for us, to have a good ecosystem, work with partners, and get referrals also through them. That's, I think, was at least a success factor for us. And
did you kind of do the partnership piece in-house, or did you rely on a partner or somebody to help kind of get that up and running?
Half, I would say. So of course, from the network, we also get some support and basically new partners, but we also build a partnership, really kind of a position in the department for managing partnerships at Keylight,
Yeah, so very much partner-led. Talk us through maybe the journey for next year. Are you confident, ambitious, growth trajectory still looking attractive? What's next year looking like from your perspective?
Yeah, we have lots of feedback again from customers, but now I think we're in a more scalable stage, so we invest a lot in the product, but we're ready basically to really for a broader audience. It's not only for the enterprise customers we had, but now really look into as I said, mid-market startups, a little bit scaling to just a larger number of customers. That's why we're also here, right? We try to push this a little bit. And this will be probably the initiative for the next 6 to 12 months, to get also some different types of customers, not only the larger enterprises, but support a broader scale.
And what's kind of interesting is, again, like a lot of the times the journey is the other way, right? You start off with the smaller companies and you try and add in features and move up the kind of average contract value. You go the opposite way, whereas you're kind of coming back against it.
It's the other way around, that's true.
What have you thought about the implications for that? Because clearly pricing becomes an issue, feature set. Like how do you think about going the other way?
Yeah, totally. I mean, we have kind of an all-access license, for example, so a very simple model.
Yeah.
And it is tailored to the revenue of the company that runs through our platform. So we have kind of a natural scalability there, right? So if you have a smaller project, you don't have so much revenue yet, you can start with the platform at your own pace.
Yeah.
But you have access to all features already.
Okay, great.
Right, it's not a limitation because we say we have already this revenue component, right? That's our mission together, right? We want to make you more successful. So why would we limit functionality and say, oh no, you want to have multiple currencies now, this costs extra. Why would we do that, right? So we unlock always everything, but tailored more about the size and the responsibility we have with the customer.
I like that, because I think we all learn in pricing models over the years and sort of there's pluses and minuses, but I think it's sort of the temptation will be to lock certain features for the lower tiers, but you've taken a slightly different view of it, which I think makes a lot of sense, right?
Yeah, totally. I mean, the only thing could be to maybe simplify it or disable certain features as feature flags, but not from a commercial perspective to say you have to pay extra. But the platform is really big, right? There's so many different topics to cover, from commerce to billing to finance. And if it's overwhelming, right, to maybe streamline a little bit the focus or have some presets, some templates, for example, for SaaS companies. The platform in general is for all subscription models, right? It doesn't need to be SaaS. It could be rentals. It could be circular economy, car sharing, different kind of models. And we try to have maybe certain templates in place that you don't start from scratch with an empty platform, but you have already something pre-configured more to your cases. that's something we're also working on.
Which is great, because the blank slate is the kind of problem you can get with some of the bigger applications where people come in and they can't really navigate because they feel overwhelmed. But if you can, to your point, kind of carve a route through with templates and pre-starts and so on, it helps. Changing tack a tiny little bit, right? SaaStock, right? Is this your first time being here, or have you been here before?
No, it is the first time, actually. Yeah.
Okay, enjoying it so far?
Totally, yeah. I think it's a nice event, for many reasons, which we'll probably discuss in a second more.
Look, couple of things. I guess, why did you choose SaaStock? I know there's obviously the fact that you're in SaaS helps, but why did you choose coming to Dublin to this event?
Yeah, I mean, we're looking into a few events and into the schedule, of course. It's not so far away from Berlin as well. And it looked like an interesting one because it really is focused on SaaS. So we wanted to also do something really for SaaS companies, not only for mixed models or subscriptions in general. And it looked attractive also from partners. Yep. Right, there are also a few of our partners here that also sponsor, to just meet them, also discuss certain things. So this was the main reason, I would say. And
are you enjoying it so far? Are you finding it rewarding?
Yeah, totally. We had good discussions, also at our booth, also meeting partners, also some prospects. Good discussions as well. So we get a lot of feedback. It's also interesting for us. It's not only about sales and brand visibility, but we also want to see what are the challenges for SaaS companies, right? It could be very different for manufacturers that want to do something new with subscriptions or car sharing, as I mentioned, or something else. But what are the challenges currently that SaaS businesses are facing that we could maybe solve with our product? Not necessarily to pitch it, but also to bring it back to the product development.
I think you're kind of right. Like, one of the things I found is there's a lot of serendipity in bumping into people and having conversations, and not be selling, but just having curious conversations about how people find the market, or learning from what competitors are doing, or just understanding their challenges, which then can inform the product development roadmap.
Yeah, you said curiosity is, I think, the most important thing, and I felt that's pretty nice here. Many people are curious. Yeah. So everyone's very open to just have a chat, also without trying to sell a solution to each other, because many people are SaaS companies, right? We're always potentially interesting for each other. It's always to almost every also potential prospect I'm talking to, their solution might be interesting for us too.
Totally.
It's always something mutual, but this is why just always having some curious conversations, also what's happening, what are challenges, that's really nice.
I think one of the challenges I find is that I don't get to many of the presentations because there's so much richness of just walking around, bumping into people, and it's just a good atmosphere, right? So that all helps. I mean, I guess the question, would you recommend to other SaaS companies to look at partnering in SaaStock and attending in 2025? What are your thoughts so far?
No, so far definitely. Also just attending is already pretty good, but if you can sponsor, that's also a good decision. So my feeling at the moment, this was also the right decision for us. Of course, the event is still ongoing. We see how the day goes, and tomorrow still. But so far our experience is really good. So I would recommend it. Hopefully
you'll get along to some of the night events as well, because of course it's the attraction isn't just the day, it's part of the fun is getting out for a couple of pints of Guinness or whatever.
Oh, definitely, yeah. We came in on Sunday already. We went to a few pubs to actually compare. And yesterday the welcome party was also pretty good. So I think the slide is also covered. Yeah.
Great. Excellent. Well, listen, thank you so much. Really enjoyed it. Thanks so much for your time, and listen, best of luck for the rest of the event.
Yeah, thank you too. Same to you.
Thanks, Marco.